Well, good afternoon if you're just joining us. It's week 3 and the COVID-19 Caution School Fantasy Football League finally arrives this afternoon at the Grove Allotment Gardens. Glorious conditions, real buzz in the air, a very small turnout, perhaps around 30 people, not including children, food vendors or snake charmers. Smaller than you'd have expected, though a smaller crowd is customary here at the smallest ground in the league. But it really is a really very colourful and vibrant scene as we look out from our shaded spot under the awning of the commentary shed. And I'm pleased to say that Ben Powles has returned from his reconnoitring saunter around the allotments. Hello again, Benjamin. And I say, what do you have there? It smells rather wonderful, but I say there's rather a lot of it, isn't there? Is that one for me? Oh, thank you. Hello again, blowers. Yeah, I've had a little meander and got myself a tandoori mix. The little chappie said it was recommended for a wide variety of meaty tastes, so I thought that was a bit of me. That's you all over, Palsy. And what meats are in there then? Tandoori chicken, bit of sheep kebab, chicken tikka, lamb tikka. I told the little fella to hold the rabbit food. It's the water they wash it and you got to watch out for. Last time I had an onion salad with me dinner from the Jaipur and I shat a kidney. How dare you, poor thing! And the other bits you've picked up, you've given our listeners only a taster. Yeah, this one's a garlic naan, and I got a sag paneer, lamb vindaloo, and a couple of chicken pakoras. And a little something to wash it down with, I see. Yeah, a cheeky little pint of Lal Tufan, and yours is a king prawn kebab blowers. Aren't you a sweetheart? That'll go nicely with the Sauvignon, once I've finished off my preliminary gin and tonic. Now, I've just been handed the team sheets. A few surprises here, Ben. The home side first, Jaipur takeaway, are starting without King. We might have thought that after an admirable score draw in round 2 against Dave Brown's boys that Jaipur would keep things the same, but no, they're adopting a 1-2-2 formation, if my sheet of paper is to be believed. Captain Unwin between the jumpers, of course, Hancock the night watchman, Jervis and Bowler sharing midfield duties, with Ratcliffe back in the side, this time joining Taylor in attack. What do you make of that, Palsy? Not very surprised to see King dropped, if I'm honest, blowers. He's performed poorly in the first 2 games, and there are some problems with his fitness. If I'm honest, I half expected a second team today, no disrespect to Up in Smoke, but Takeaway have got some problems with several players, and they will need to rest their big guns for some tough upcoming fixtures. The fact that Hancock, Bowler and Taylor are on the field today may be out of respect for the fans who've turned out for the first home game of the season, but it might also show their lack of depth and lack of faith in your Lydons, your Menals, your Styles is. The Up in Smoke side today, Jason Paradise is back between the posts today, while Shane Moulton, who kept goal last week, moves up to central defence. 3 in midfield, that's Babcock, Waters and Webb, and that leaves Henry Conrad alone in attack. No Aston Kehoe this week. He does seem to have had a hard time of it in recent weeks, poor chap, so Daniel McCabe is giving him the day off today. Now, if you've tuned in expecting to hear play by now, I should tell you the kickoff has been slightly delayed following a pitch inspection half an hour ago. That ruled the pitch unplayable on account of one of the allotments that constitutes a small area at the Station Road end, the end closest to the Caution Cricket Club. Well, that was still covered in daffodils. No longer in bloom, of course, but for the officials' liking, the foliage had not died back enough to replenish the nutrients in the bulbs. Daffodils are perennials, of course, blowers. Indeed. Anyway, the tenant had to be called. That took some time, but he has, I'm glad to say, now finished cutting the flowers back almost to ground level, and the teams are now taking the field as I speak. Jaipur Takeaway, the home side in their traditional light pink and baby blue shirts, white shorts and pink socks. They will start shooting down the hill from the Jajo Court end. The visitors Up in Smoke in their splendid all-red, defending the Station Road end. Play finally underway then, and the visitors take early possession with stubby little Adrian Webb standing with his foot on the ball, his red hair gleaming in the afternoon summer sun. He's pointing in every attacking direction, is Webb, looking to stamp his authority on the midfield area early on. Conrad is in space behind Jervis, and Webb hits a long ball in his direction. Nicely controlled, and Conrad has some time. He's looking for a pass back into midfield. Babcock's some way off the pace here, but Waters arrives in support and Conrad finds him. Waters controls and has an early strike. Unwin's out of position. Oh, it's a goal! 1 minute played at the Grove allotment, and the away side, Up in Smoke, take a very early lead through the speculative boot of Simon Waters. He's had a dig from what must be almost 40 yards. Unwin was still arranging his men, and Waters has really caught the sweet spot, and it's 1-0. Well, I say, Benjamin, I was about to come to you for some early thoughts, but I'm afraid events have rather overtaken us, haven't they? Well, Henry, I was going to say the long ball is not a good strategy at the allotments. It's a very small playing area, but how wrong I have been proven. Jaipur takeaway were at 6s and 7s. Hancock had the awareness to close down Conrad, but Up in Smoke have what is now an all too obvious advantage in the middle. Smoke have Webb running things there at the moment, and I just suspect that they will outclass Jaipur in midfield all afternoon, though I must say Josh Babcock is obviously not fully fit. He's already bent over with a stitch. But nevertheless, that midfield quality will leave Hancock and Unwin to get the Boona boys out of a few scrapes. But with the old score box already showing 1-0, this game is all about whether Up in Smoke's advantage in midfield will result in an away win. As for the home side, well, Adam Taylor is a superstar here. He's a little Asian man, and Takeaway will need to get in regular delivery if he's to dish up an equaliser. He's got close support from Ratcliffe today, but there are still question marks over him. He's very prone to a tall story, but by hook or by crook, Henry, the Curry men must get the ball to Taylor, and they must do so soon. Beautifully set up, Benjamin. Thank you. 1-0 it is then, with Waters scoring after just 1 minute. 10 minutes played now, and Jaipur takeaway finding their shape with Jervis on the left for them now. He plays a short pass to Ratcliffe, who would dearly love to feed Taylor, but he's marked by Moulton. Ratcliffe puts through a pass, and oh dear, well, Moulton has bundled Taylor very clumsily to the ground just outside the 18-yard box, and there's something of a tussle going on now. The crowd don't like it, but Moulton is unusually hirsute. Well, won't approve of this at all, and he awards a yellow card to both players. The original infringement was Shane Moulton's, of course, and it was a little malicious, I'm afraid, but Taylor has not reacted as he should. No, Tails is quite frustrated, I think, Blowers. He's barely touched the ball so far. A free kick to Jaipur takeaway then, 20 yards out. Hancock will take it, but it's straight into the wall. It strikes Webb in the abdomen, and Up in Smoke are counter-attacking. Jaipur takeaway are all out of position again, and Waters knocks it forward to Conrad, who has 50 yards to goal, and just Unwin to beat now. Well, this is quite the marathon, isn't it? He's keeping his head. He's going to see what Unwin does. Unwin now does come, and Conrad chips it over his head, and it's 2-0 to the away side. Very cool finish from Henry Conrad. Unwin had no real chance unless he rushed Conrad, and this he attempted, but the Up in Smoke front man held his nerve and lifted the ball off the surface very cleanly, and it bounces on the line and trundles into the cabbages behind. Takeaway only got themselves to blame again, Blowers. They've all come up for Bungall's free kick and they've left themselves exposed, and Conrad just give himself space to run, and Anki's running back, but he don't reach top speed too fast. Before you can say whoopsie daisy, chicken jalfrezi, the Smoke are 2 ahead. Well, it's a bit of a nightmare opening to the season at the allotments. 25 minutes played, and, well, not exactly a mountain to climb, but certainly a steep hill. Here comes Hancock for the home side then. He exchanges passes with Jervis, who pokes it through the purple sprouting, where it is fielded by Ratcliffe. Babcock again, slow to get there. Half an hour played now, and the ball has already moved on to Bowler. We haven't seen much of him yet, but he lays off a nice pass to Jervis, who shoots. Oh, it's off the post, and Hancock is there to knock it in. I think it's nicked off the knee in the end, but it won't matter. Jaipur takeaway have got one back. It's a very scrappy goal in the end, going down the hill. The ball's bobbling about in the veg, but Paradise is finally beaten after 30 minutes. He might complain about his luck, but if we're honest, Jervis's shot had him beaten anyway, but he's at the post,
and Anky Panky, Widow Twanky, is there to mop up the spilt football.
Well, Up in Smoke are raising the pace now. Conrad takes it to the corner, and there's something frantic about Up in Smoke now.
35 minutes played, they've conceded not long before half-time, and they just want to reassert themselves.
Conrad then waits for his teammates to come up into the 18-yard box. Babcock just catching up, and Conrad passes to Moulton just behind him, his dark monobrow frowning with concentration. He crosses it in. Unwin should get... he spilled the football, and Babcock on the volley. Good gracious. He sent it into the ground, but everyone's missed it, and it's past Unwin, who really is not playing well. It's 3 goals to Up in Smoke now. Babcock a little fortunate, you might say, but he won't mind that.
Fortunate it's come to him in the first place, Blowers, and fortunate that it somehow got through the crowded box. Unwin can't believe it. He's lying face down in the compost, his arms by his sides, face down, dead to all the world.
We'll have 1 minute left to play before... Oh no, there's the referee's whistle. And that'll do for the morning session. The sides go in for lunch, and it's Jaipur takeaway 1, Up in Smoke 3. Well, I'm delighted to say that the chairman of the home side, Santosh Blue, has come over to our little commentary shed for a bit of cake and a natter. Lovely to see you, Santosh.
Lovely to be here, Henry, on such a glorious day.
Yes, isn't it? But not spoiled for you by the football, I hope.
Not really, Henry. Of course, we want to see our boys win and play well, but as long as they do their best and we have a nice day out at the allotments, well, that's the main thing. Some seasons do start slowly.
Let's talk about your team this year. Your manager, Krishnan Heron Burgundy, has brought in 3 players during the exchange period. 2 of them, Lee Ratcliffe and Mark Jervis, are playing today, but the right side player they were brought in to balance out, he isn't playing. Some people might think the Aaron King is the basket, and there are too many eggs in him. How would you explain it?
Well, Aaron is one of our strongest players, and of course we want to use him as much as possible, but he has had a run of misfortune, so Krishnan has sent him on a yoga retreat this week to get himself together for next week's match. It's all consistent with the takeaway philosophy. No one eats in now. There are no tables. The players we have are probably the most dynamic and versatile in the world. And our philosophy is that nothing is permanent, and that includes a football team. Solids are actually slow-moving liquids, you know. The earth is the sea is the sky. Everything is waves of energy, and every Jaipur player needs to be able to surf. So today we see our 6 men surfing waves of events.
How lovely. Well, Ben Powell's is back with us, so play must be about to recommence. Santosh, lovely chatting with you. Please do enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Santosh Balu there, injecting our discussion with some Eastern wisdom, I think, Ben.
The guru has spoken, Blowers, and he's blown my tiny mind and all.
Our 2 teams regain the playing area then, and this time Up in Smoke will have the advantage of the slope. Quick reminder then, Up in Smoke, the visitors took an early lead through Simon Waters after 1 minute. The lead was doubled on 12 minutes with a rapid counter-attack following a bungled Jaipur free kick, culminating in a neat lobbing of goalkeeper Gareth Unwin by the unstoppable Henry Conrad. The home side got one back with a scrappy goal on the stroke of half an hour, but Up in Smoke scored a third 5 minutes later off the unlikely laces of Josh Babcock. Well, the Ratcliffe-Taylor partnership is ticking along nicely now. Chances have been made, but so far no real result. But encouraging stuff from the home side.
Yeah, Smoke perhaps just sitting back a bit now. 49 minutes on the clock. They have a daylight lead. They're defending the higher ground. And Smoke seem content to let takeaway come to them.
Here is Ratcliffe then, with a quick change of pace in the middle of the park. He has Jervis to his left, Bowler to his right. Bowler now has the ball and is coming forward again. Waters has gone to him, but Bowler cuts him out with a pass to Ratcliffe, who takes it round the sluggish Babcock. Oh, lovely through ball to Taylor, who shoots to the near post, and it's a wonderful strike. It's a well-worked goal. The Jaipur attack functioning well now, and they've climbed the hill and scored a second. It's back to 3-2.
Smoke can't afford to give Bowler that much room, blowers. Ratcliffe's no Zola, but he's good enough to skin Babcock in that situation. And Taylor, the brown assassin, has ghosted him behind. No offsides and a six-a-side, remember. And he's just gone to the near post, hit the little target, and Paradise is nowhere near it.
And I'm afraid there's more argy-bargy with Shane Moulton. This time he's taken exception to Hancock, who seems to be trying to breastfeed Moulton as a sort of humiliating dumb show. Well, it's a yellow card for Hancock, the would-be lactate feeder, and also a yellow for Moulton, who seems to have picked a fight he couldn't win. That is his second yellow card of the day, which means that he will be leaving the field under a cloud for an early dust bath. And there is the red card flashing in the raised paw of the umpire, and Shane Moulton shambles back to the pavilion in disgrace, milk all round his mouth. A sorry sight, Ben.
Frustration's got the better of him, blowers. He's got the rage after making such a plonker of himself, letting Taylor move into his patch unopposed, and in the end, he's his own worst enemy.
58 minutes played then, and Jaipur Takeaway have really woken up now. They have a one-man advantage, and half an hour to score two if they are to open their home account with a 3-point deposit. And Bowler has the ball. He looks for a shot, and Paradise has to touch it over the bar just to be sure. A corner it is then.
Very strong play now from the home side, especially up the hill. I don't know what the gaffers put in their lunchtime lassies, blowers, but we are witnessing some liquid uphill gardening from the Boona boys now.
Bowler will take the corner this time. Hancock wisely hanging back, everyone else inside the 18-yard box. Bowler plays a short one to Hancock, who fires it into the 6-yard box, and Taylor... Oh, an effortless flick off the outside of his right foot, and Paradise doesn't know what's happened. Jaipur Takeaway have made the long journey back to level at 3-3, and there's still half an hour to play.
Let's take a minute though, blowers, to bloody well recognise Taylor's finish. He's watched the ball come in at 100 miles an hour from Hancock's left ham hock. It's pitched right in front of him, and he just stepped into it and knocked it off the outside of the right boot. It's all the touch it needed. I think it's actually gone through Paradise's legs there, but from such close range you can't blame the keeper for that.
15 minutes to play then, and Up in Smoke are really suffering, not only from losing Moulton, but especially from the poor fitness of Babcock, who's dropped back to fill the gap. But it isn't much of a filling, I'm afraid. Jaipur Takeaway on the attack up the hill again then.
What an assault this would be if they could take the lead for the first time in this game with a fourth goal.
Certainly that is the ambition, I think, Benjamin. And Hancock is the man in possession. He's been very involved today, has Simon Hancock. Almost an attacking central defender, if such a thing were possible. Jarvis hangs back to field any possible counter-attack, but it won't be necessary because Ratcliffe has been fouled on the edge of the 18-yard box. Hancock picks up the ball. The referee signals a free kick to Jaipur Takeaway, and Hancock rubs the shiny side in his groin. Somewhat hungrily. He fancies this one, I think.
Yeah, hell of a strike on him as Hanky, and this is his range. 8 minutes to play, and this is his range, blowers.
Slight delay while Unwin barks some orders from the halfway line. He doesn't want Hancock to take it, I don't think. He wants to bank on the superior shooting score of Adam Taylor. These are worrying times for Up in Smoke. From a lead of 3-1, they now need to avoid going down 4-3. Taylor places the ball then. Up in Smoke have placed the wall as close as they may, as close as they dare, while Waters, Babcock and Conrad, with stunted Adrian Webb on the end of the wall. Perhaps not the best position for the short man. That's really exactly where Taylor will be looking for a gap in the wall. He places the ball. Taylor then running in. He runs. He shoots. The home crowd hold their breath. Taylor almost tiptoeing in as he strikes, but it's hit the angle of the goal, and Webb and Jervis race after it. Webb gets there first and clears the ball. A few more minutes more of football are played there, And the whistle goes. It finishes level here. Up in Smoke had the run of the first half. Jaipur takeaway very sluggish for the first half an hour, and they left themselves a lot to do. But draw level they did on the stroke of the hour, and even had a golden opportunity to claim the win right at the end there. But Taylor did not hit the target, and Up in Smoke have survived. We have 3 rather glorious goals. One from Waters at the top of the morning, a wonderful lob from Conrad second, and a cheeky bit of footwork from Taylor later on. The other goals were really nothing to write home about. A fair result though, Ben?
I think so, Blowers. Both sides had their periods of dominance, but I think 3-3 is a fair result in the end, all things considered.
And your man of the match, Benjamin?
I'm a big fan of Hancock, and I probably have named him, but he spoiled things for me a bit. He spoiled things by putting his tits in Moulton's mouth. There's just no place for that in the modern game, so it's got to be Taylor, man of the match. He's scored 2, he's kept his face clean, and arguably he's been unlucky not to win it at the death for takeaway.
Adam Taylor, man of the match then. And that's all from us. The close of the day's play. The 30 fans or so have dissipated to get a curry from the takeaway and perhaps even eat it in the garden of the Methuen Arms, which is still on lockdown. It's Jaipur takeaway 3, Up in Smoke 3.